You're in the middle of an argument. You're furious. You have so much to say. And then, it happens. Your eyes fill up. Your throat gets tight. And before you can stop it, the tears start falling. And now you look like you're sad, when really, you are absolutely, completely furious. You've been there, haven't you? You try to blink it away. You look at the ceiling. You bite your lip, but the tears just keep coming. And the worst part? The other person stops taking you seriously. They think you're overreacting. They think you're weak. But here's the truth, and this might change everything for you. Crying when you're angry isn't weakness. It's actually your brain working on overdrive. Stay with me, because what's happening inside your body in those moments is far more fascinating than you think. Welcome back. Today, we're talking about something that millions of people experience, but almost nobody talks about openly. Crying when you're angry. Not crying because you're sad. Not crying because you're hurt. But crying specifically when you are mad. When you want to stand your ground, raise your voice, and fight back. But instead, your eyes betray you. If this happens to you, you've probably asked yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Why can't I just be angry without falling apart? Is something wrong with me? The answer is no. Nothing is wrong with you. But a lot is happening inside you. And today, we're going to break it all down in the simplest way possible. Let's paint the picture clearly. You're in a meeting and your idea gets shot down, unfairly. You feel the heat rise in your chest. You open your mouth to respond, and your voice cracks. Or maybe you're arguing with someone you love. They say something that crosses a line. You want to be firm. You want to be clear. But instead, you're wiping your eyes and they're asking, are you seriously crying right now? It's one of the most frustrating experiences a person can have. Because in that moment, you're not sad. You're angry. You're passionate. You feel deeply, intensely, and your body is expressing it in a way you didn't choose and don't want. And it creates real problems. People misread you. They think you're fragile when you're actually fierce. They think you've given up when you're actually fighting harder than ever. And sometimes, you start avoiding conflicts altogether, just to avoid the tears. That's when it becomes a real challenge. So what is actually happening? Let's talk science, but in plain English, I promise. Your brain has an emotional control center called the amygdala. Think of it as your brain's alarm system. The moment you feel something intense, anger, fear, frustration, the amygdala hits the panic button. When that alarm goes off, your body floods with stress hormones. Your heart rate goes up. Your muscles tense. Your breathing gets faster. Your body is preparing to fight. But here's where it gets interesting. When the emotional intensity gets too high, when you're feeling more than your nervous system can quietly contain, your body finds a release valve: tears. Crying is actually a neurological response to emotional overload. It's not just sadness. Research shows that humans cry in response to any emotion that becomes overwhelming, including anger, frustration, and even passion. In fact, crying releases stress hormones through your tears. It literally helps your body regulate itself. So in a strange, beautiful way, your tears are trying to protect you. But there's more. Some people are simply more emotionally sensitive than others. This isn't a flaw, it's a neurological trait. People with higher emotional sensitivity have amygdalas that fire more intensely and more quickly. They feel things deeper. They process emotions more fully. And for these people, intense anger almost always has a physical outlet. And for many, that outlet is tears. There's also something called emotional flooding. When you're in an argument and you feel unheard, dismissed, or disrespected, the emotional pressure builds so fast that your brain can't process it all at once. It overflows. And the overflow? It comes out of your eyes. And here's one more layer that most people don't know about. Past experiences matter. If you grew up in an environment where anger wasn't safe to express, where raising your voice led to punishment, or where your emotions were dismissed, your brain may have learned to reroute anger through tears instead of outward expression. It's a learned pattern, a protective habit your younger self developed. And your adult brain is still running that same program. Here's the moment I want you to really hear. The tears don't mean you're losing. They don't mean you're weak. They don't mean you don't have a point. They mean you care deeply. They mean this matters to you. They mean you are a human being with a fully functioning emotional system. And that system is working exactly as it was designed to. But, and this is important, that doesn't mean you have to stay stuck in that pattern forever. Because while the tears themselves aren't the problem, the way people respond to them, including how you respond to yourself, can become one. If you shame yourself every time it happens, you add another layer of emotion on top of the anger. Now you're angry and embarrassed and frustrated at yourself. That's 3 emotions hitting you at once. No wonder the tears get worse. The first step to changing the pattern is to stop fighting it in the moment. When you feel the tears coming, your instinct is to suppress them. You tighten your throat, you hold your breath, you fight your own body. And that fight, it actually intensifies the emotional flood. Instead, breathe. Let your body know it's safe. You don't have to solve the argument in the next 10 seconds. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to say, I need a moment. That small act, pausing instead of fighting, can actually lower the emotional intensity faster than anything else. Let's bring it all together. When you cry while you're angry, your brain's alarm system, the amygdala, has been triggered so strongly that your body needs a physical release. Tears are that release. They are neurological, they are chemical, and they are deeply human. Some people experience this more than others because of emotional sensitivity, because of past experiences, because of how they learned to handle big feelings a long time ago. It does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are wrong. It does not mean you can't handle yourself. It means you feel things deeply, and that, in a world that often rewards numbness, is actually a rare and powerful thing. The goal isn't to stop feeling. The goal is to understand what's happening inside you, so you can meet yourself with kindness, slow down when you need to, and over time, build the tools to express your anger in the way you choose. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not too much. You are wired to feel. And that is not something to fix. It's something to understand. If this video made you feel seen, even just a little, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Someone who's been told they're too emotional. Someone who's apologized for their tears one too many times. This might be exactly what they need. And if you want to go deeper, we have more videos on emotional intelligence, anger, and understanding your own mind, right here on this channel. Drop a comment below, tell me, does this happen to you? You might be surprised how many people feel the exact same way. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next one.